Hey, have you heard of an Orthodox Republic with horde mechanics and Russian abilities? No? Then let me tell you everything you need to play Zaporozhie. Start as Lithuania, delete your army, send scornful insult to Poland and Hungary. Set them as your rivals. As third rival, set the friendly state to you. Then release every vessel that you can, except Polotsk. Don't forget to play as Zaporozhie. And then immediately take this decision, call out the steps. It changes your government to Sich Rada. Improve relations with Moscow. You need to ally other Ruthenian miners, and it would be great if Moscow wants to support you. If Lithuania doesn't have any allies, then it's possible to win without Russian support. But if it has and you're not sure that you can beat it, just restart. Demand freedom and that's all, you don't need anything else. Immediately dissolve alliance with Kiev. Ally Moscow as soon as you can. If Kiev doesn't have any allies, you can conquer it by yourself, but if it has, then call Chernigov and Galician Volhynia if you want to be safe. But the less allies you call, the better it would be. If you called allies, you want to send 5,000 troops to Kiev, send 1,000 to Cherkasy and 1,000 to Vinnytsia. If you don't call Galician Volhynia into war, you can take Orich and Zhytomyr for yourself, but if you do, it's better to forget about them. Also, it's not a bad idea to give Zhytomyr to Galician Volhynia and isolate Kiev. Dissolve alliance with Galician Volhynia. Also, I think it's time to tell you about Sich Rada. First, it's Republic. Second, its bonuses are really similar to hordes. Third, it can raise provinces. And fourth, it has similar abilities to Russian tsardom. This ability allows you to gain 1 free dev. Second ability increases speed of your troops and increases attrition for enemies. And third ability is one of the best, it's really similar to Straight C. But instead of infantry, you raise free cavalry. Your mission tree tells you to conquer Chernigov first, but don't trust it, because Chernigov usually becomes tributary of Great Horde. So basically to conquer Chernigov you need to declare war against Great Horde, and it's not worth it, even with Russia's support. It would be better to attack Lithuania or Galician Volhynia first. So obviously, every game is different. In this game it's really easy to conquer Lithuania. But sometimes it may find a really strong ally, and then you need to focus on Ruthenian miners. If it doesn't have strong allies, then conquer Lithuania. If it has, Ruthenian miners. Also, if Lithuania has strong allies, it may warn you. From my experience, you can always win a war against them if you call Moscow, even if they have strong allies, such as, for example, Poland. What provinces to take in peace deal? Basically, you want new neighbors. If Livonia is still alive, build a bridge to them. If the Teutonic Order is still alive, build a bridge to it. If there aren't possibilities for new neighbors, then just go for pretty borders. You need to conquer Ruthenian miners while you have truce with Lithuania. As your first ideas, I recommend to choose economic. If you want Moscow to help you to conquer Chernigov, set Great Horde as co-belligerent. Sometimes Ottomans vassalize Crimea early, but if they don't, you need to wait for a moment when Ottomans won't defend Crimea and attack it. Your next target after Ruthenian miners is either Lithuania or Poland, depending on who has less troops. You can ally German nations to help you with Poland. So before this war, I wanted to make sure that anyone can play on speed 5 and still win. But if you attack Poland without Moscow, be ready that this war may not be easy. It really depends on Polish allies, but in this game Poland had 4 allies and had more troops even when I pissed out one. So if you don't know how to micro, it's better to wait until Moscow agrees to help you. But this war is definitely not beginner friendly. So, from Poland ideally take Red Ruthenia and Podolia. And it would be just perfect if you could take Vizna. Because if you take Vizna, you can release Mazovia. And as you can see, it has some cores in Poland, so it will help you in conquests. And of course take some money, because Zaporozhie is poor. Basically, if Poland guarantees Lithuania, or Poland is allied with Lithuania, it's better to go for Poland. Or sometimes Poland may warn you. sometimes this happens, this happened in one game, then definitely go for Poland. But also there is one more option. You can expand not to west, but to east. But you can do it only if you could conquer Crimea. Just forget about it if you couldn't. Leave it to Muscovy. I won't get ever tired of saying this, but don't be afraid of loans if you can pay them out or if you are rapidly expanding. Well, that's the worst thing that can happen to you. You can't expand south or east, you can expand into Germany, but it's only after you beat Poland. About honoring alliances. If Russia calls you into war, agree, they are your most valuable ally and you don't need to anger them, well, at least until you can beat them. But if, for example, German nation asks you to honor alliance, then it really depends on their war. If it, for example, like here, they want to have war with Poland, and if I agree, then I have very long truce with Poland. I really don't have a reason to help them. But of course, it really depends on the situation. Danzig refuses Zaporozhian ultimatum. So, Ottomans have warned me. It means that I can't attack nations that border them. And it includes Lithuania. So I'm going to isolate Lithuania from Ottomans. Okay. Now I can finish Lithuania without Ottoman intervention. That's why reconquest is really good. So this peace deal may seem strange to you, but it's actually a pretty good idea to isolate Poland from Germans, because Bohemia, Austria or Hungary really love to take Poland, and you want to save it for yourself, so you need to isolate it from them. Of course, it's not always possible, but even if you can't conquer the whole border with them, it's still better than nothing. And one tooltip says what nations will join coalition if you send this peace deal. My advice is to improve relations with the biggest ones. Now let's talk about forming Ruthenia. It's very, very important information. You get Cossack ideas instead of Ruthenian. And also your government remains the same. How to get tsardom government and Ruthenian ideas then? You need to constantly re-elect your rulers and choose options in the events that lower Republican tradition. And when it's less than 30, the event may trigger that turns your republic into a presidential dictatorship. Then you need to wait until your president dies, and only then you become monarchy. Now as you can see, I have Ruthenian ideas and can take tsardom government. Ruthenia is basically smaller Russia, so it doesn't have such bonuses to cavalry, it can't raise provinces, and it has the same government as Russia. What to do after you conquer Poland? To be honest, I don't know. Basically, in most cases, you can always expand into HRE, sometimes in Russia, and rarely you can even beat Ottomans. So if you're a beginner, you may want to find a good start. When to restart the Zaporozhian game if you're a beginner, of course. If Ottomans vassalize Crimea early, and if Russia becomes too strong too early, basically this game. If, for example, Denmark conquers Lithuania, then it's not a big deal. If Ottomans just ally Crimea, then it's again not a big deal. But if something like this happened, then your late game will be a lot more difficult. Don't ever dissolve the alliance with Muscovy. Because if you do this, they instantly become aggressive to you. Second, how to hold out from Ottomans. Basically, you need a lot of alliances. That's all. Here I allied Austria, Muscovy, and Brandenburg. And that's basically enough to stop them. After you conquer Poland, basically you're safe from most of threats. You have some money, expansion options, big army, you may find some allies, but like I said, basically I don't know what's next for you, because every Zaporozhie game is really different, but I think there won't be any problems, speaking from experience. I think you expected me to finish this video, but no, I just wanted to show you my other Zaporozhie game, and that it's not always that difficult, like it was in my guide. As you can see, here I could conquer Crimea and I have possibility to attack a great horde. Lithuania is still alive and Russia is not that strong, as you can see. And Ottomans are a lot weaker than in previous game. Just wanted to say that don't be afraid of Zaporozhie, it's not always that bad. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this guide, and if you liked it, please subscribe to my channel and press the like button.